What's going on, ladies and gents? Kages here and welcome back to another video. Today, we're diving into Digimon Beatbreak episode 38 titled Hollow Thirst. From birthday cake to a living nightmare, that's probably the best way to describe episode 38. Not only does the Kyo arc officially begin, but I think this is also the episode where Beatbreak's biggest mysteries finally start falling into place. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this episode is chaotic and dark. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right on into it. The episode began with the aftermath. After everything that happened with the gift arc, Rose apologizes for putting Chairman Wang in danger. Then Genjo says to her this quite uncharacteristic mistake for someone like Rose. And honestly, my first reaction was, bro, you wanna talk, like where were you? That said, it's interesting that Chairman Wang and Genjo's relationship doesn't seem to have changed at all after everything that happened. Even when Genjo suggests that if he could make the move, Chairman Wang was just like, no, I think you should just chill for now. If something were to happen to Rose, then you could do that then. So maybe Genjo was somewhere else during the incident and genuinely couldn't make it in time. Maybe there was some unavoidable reason he wasn't able to step in. Then we finally learned that the glowing cube inside Mephismon from the last episode is called the White Core. And apparently, Chairman Wang has been searching for it because it's essential to completing the Shangri-La project. And this is huge. According to the episode, Shangri-La project is meant to create a utopia that will protect humanity from the ever-evolving threat of a Digimon. But I don't know. I feel like that's only the official explanation. There's almost certainly another agenda hiding underneath all of that. And something else that surprised me, that Rose here is way more loyal to Chairman Wang than I ever expected. I honestly imagined she'd have a much more elegant, free-spirited personality, but instead, she's surprisingly obedient. That definitely wasn't what I expected from her character, and I kinda like seeing this side of her. I hope we see more of her story in the future. We also find out that the Shangri-La project doesn't just require the White Core. It also requires Tenma Asuka's E-Pulse. And I think that's huge because it finally feels like we're getting closer to the truth behind Asuka. Both Asuka and Tomoro possess these unusual E-Pulses, which Tomoro already proven to have somewhat of a potential. So maybe the Tenma family itself has some kind of a special bloodline. And if that's true, then Tomoro's grandfather, Dr. Tenma, is almost certainly involved somehow. To celebrate Kyo's birthday, the members of Glowing Dawn secretly prepare a surprise party for him. I always love episodes like this, man. A bit of a slice of life, They even got Maki and Yoshi involved in all this, which is very wholesome. Kageromon keeping tabs on while they're shopping, Rena made the doll thingy for the cake, and for some reason, she keeps screwing up Kyo's one. I can tell the jaw's kinda, mewing a little bit. I don't know if she's trying to make Kyo's one looking very special or yeah. Gekkomon cutting the strawberry was shocking to me. I thought he would screw that up, but no, he actually managed to cut it the samurai way, which again made me wish his Mega would somehow got a divine sword or something, right? And of course, in the end, Gekkomon did screw up the surprise, which is still very nice. And honestly, I feel like these quieter slice of life moments are where the characters get fleshed out the most. Also good to see Kageromon outside there playing with the kids. I guess he's a big cat, right? But before all that, Kyo asked the Ministry of Civil Protection as to what happened to Miharu. And I think we were all wondering the same thing. Apparently, because Miharu is still a minor, so she's exempt from criminal punishment. So instead, she's being placed inside a special World Union detention facility where she'll be protected. So it's more like rehabilitation while also keeping her safe. That would make sense, right? And at the same time, they're not completely forgiving her just because she's a minor. They send her to a special detention facility, right? But still, it doesn't look like she's being mistreated or anything. So honestly, that was a relief. Later on, everyone lights the candles on Kyo's birthday cake, and the moment Kyo looks at those candles, he starts remembering pieces of his past. It looks like Kyo once had another group of people who were just like a family to him. Even that yellow bracelet he always wears, apparently it was a gift from them. So I think this Kyo arc is going to focus heavily on that part of his past. And I am so glad we get to see this hairstyle of back then when he was a Go-Gyosei. Not gonna lie, looking cool, brother. We also learned that Kyo knew Dr. Tenma when he was a child, and honestly, I love how all these different storylines are starting, to overlap now. And instead of feeling like a separate mysteries, they're slowly becoming one big mystery. That honestly gets me even more excited for what's coming next. And before blowing out the candles, everyone makes a wish together, and it is, may our family stay together forever. Meanwhile, members of the ministry begin getting cold-hearted one after another by an escaped criminal. That criminal turns out to be Kuroshio Souji, a former Go-Gyosei who was arrested 5 years ago for a robbery and murder, although his case was apparently never fully resolved. Meanwhile, Kishiwada Kanchi, Miharu's closest associate, recovers the white core from the Mephismon location and hands it over to Souji. The white core can apparently store limitless E-Pulse energy and greatly enhance the abilities of whoever possesses it. And honestly, at this point, I think it's fair to say Kishiwada was the real mastermind behind the gift arc. By placing the white core inside Mephismon, or maybe way before that with Wizardmon, and that kind of made Mephismon even more violent because the white core itself, as Rose mentions, very beautiful but also very ominous, which eventually pushed Miharu even further down that path, turning Wizardmon into Mephismon. And it's actually kind of crazy how interconnected everything is becoming. Even though the gift arc has officially ended, its characters are clearly still going to play major roles moving forward. And also, a lot of you guys mentioned Splashmon, and yes, seems like Kishiwada been controlling Splashmon to move around freely, opens the gate and all that, and proves that the water tornado thing back in the gift arc was indeed Splashmon. And Souji's Digimon, Marindevimon, that he used to escape the prison, turns out wasn't even his Digimon. So again, this Kishiwada guy sends a baby Digimon through, I don't know, Splashmon probably, and Souji kinda evolves him and made it his own Digimon, which is crazy how powerful he is. And Rose reveals that he is the previous water star, supposedly dead 5 years ago, and he's known as Souji the Turbid. And we can see why. Marindevimon, Splashmon, they are all water Digimon, so I assume his previous Digimon too. Then Souji attacks Rose, who had been monitoring him, using the white's core power. And seems like Souji can control multiple perfect level Digimon now, after getting his power-ups, which is bonkers. And Lilamon reveals why Souji is a very scary man. So seems like he always does this, keeps on changing his Digimon whenever he met a stronger one. Yup, I like you, you're mine now. And I don't know, sort of feeds his Digimon to that new one and that Digimon chain thing, and it's just brutal. God. And Rose Lilamon battle was pretty cool, I would say. Cool attacks animation, very elegant battle style, the beauty slap too. But eventually, he even takes control of Lilamon, and this part scares the shit out of me. I'm just like, no, please not that. And through Lilamon's own hands, Rose gets cold-hearted. And I'ma be real, that's brutal, dude. Not only does Lilamon gets taken over, but she's forced to cold heart her own partner. That's honestly a pretty cruel way to write Rose out of the story, because I definitely wasn't expecting her to leave like this. Now I feel bad for the Brilliant Thorns. And I kinda got goosebumps because back when Lilamon said that she got a bad feeling about all this, and Rose just said that they're invincible together and gave this big smile. But in my head, I was like, this feel good. Yup. And now that this all turns out to be true, I kind of felt bad. I'm just like, shit. Souji also mentions that he's searching for Kyo, the person who gave him that strange, thrilling feelings, right? So I'm guessing Kyo defeated him sometime in the past, assuming by that flashback of his. And the morning after the birthday party, Kyo is gone. Then the Brilliant Thorns duo suddenly shows up and immediately attacks Glowing Dawn. And apparently, they believe Kyo was the one who cold-hearted Rose. And of course, we all know who orchestrated that shit. It's that Kishiwada guy again, right? And not long after that, Maki receives Kyo's wanted criminal data. Then, Kyo visits what appears to be the graves of his former family members at Nirinso, and that's where Souji finally appears before him. And Kishiwada knew about Nirinso? This is getting crazy. And judging from Kyo's reaction here and the way this scene is directed, yeah, 100%. I have a feeling Souji might have been the one responsible for killing the people Kyo cared about. Maybe Souji took everything away from him. Okay, so here's how I think things go. Souji did what he did to Kyo's previous members. Murasamemon kills his Digimon, so Kyo got his revenge, right? And Souji kind of falls to the water, right, from the flashback, and everybody assumed that he died. And turns out that he's alive and kills more people somewhere else, and eventually got caught again. Because that's kind of the only explanation that makes sense to me, given that no information about him written anywhere, not even his name. And if he were caught as a bad Go-Gyosei, given how dangerous he is, they wouldn't be keeping him in a normal prison, right? They would put him in the same, what's it called, special chamber looking place, just like where Clay Art Salon is, right? So yeah, it's obvious these two share a deep history together, and honestly, I can't wait to learn what really happened between them. Overall, I thought this episode was cinema, dude. Fantastic. The mysteries are finally starting to connect together, and every new reveal just makes me even more invested in what's coming next. Next week's episode is titled Pretty Words. It looks like we're finally going to see the full story between Souji and Kyo, and once again, that title sounds way too ominous. I just hope it's not referring to Kyo's dream, because that would be very, very heartbreaking. And alrighty, that's for today's episode. So guys, what are your thoughts on this episode? What are your thoughts on Kuroshio Souji? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and as always, this is Kage signing off. Stay sharp, and I'll catch you on to the next one. Peace!